digress. We move on, 6:35. And as I mentioned, we're going to talk now about Bradford Park Avenue. It's been another difficult season for the non-league outfit, who suffered a second successive relegation to leave them now in the Northern Premier League East, which is step 8 of the English football pyramid. Plenty of work then ahead for the powers that be at Horsfall Stadium. Luckily enough, I was able to grab some time with the pair of them a little earlier on. Sporting director Thomas McStravick and owner Gareth Roberts.
Of course, relegation is never any fun, and we didn't want that, but it has allowed us to basically make some key changes that we needed to make anyway in the club. So we've now got ourselves a full-time head coach who is coaching the first team, but also the junior section that we have, which includes our academy and so on. So we've been making those. We needed to make that change at some point, and we are living within our means, which is not easy at any level in football. But we've made a lot of progress to get to that point. And we're actually now in a position, because of the growth of the junior section, to be able to think about increasing our playing budget for the first team. So at the moment, the budget is showing an increased spend on the first team over last year, even, which we hope is going to be very competitive in the division we're in. And, winning is going to make a lot of people feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it does, doesn't it, in football? That tends to be the way. I mean, all the hard work can go in, and if you don't have that feeling of just winning, it can sometimes feel like you're not making that progress. And I guess from your perspective, Thomas, similar question in terms of just, your reflections on the season that's just passed.
Yeah, look, obviously very, very disappointing. Nobody sets out to get relegated, that's for sure. Particularly in the manner in which it's happened this season, in terms of 2 relegations back to back. But look, Gareth's quite right. We've hit a reset button. We've got an opportunity now to really showcase what the club is really all about. Change the environment, change the culture. Create a winning mentality throughout the club. And we're in a really strong position to be able to do that from the bottom upwards. All our junior teams are really competitive, doing really well. We're attracting better players literally daily. Our scholarship program is extremely strong. We've finished the season really strongly, and sets us up really well for next season. We've got the best crop of players coming in that we've ever had. And now's the time really to really focus on the first team and get the first team moving in the right direction. And I'm very, very confident that we're going to be able to do that.
It's not always the easiest thing to identify, Gareth, particularly when you've faced the 2 seasons that you have. But is there an element to this, almost like maybe having to take 1 step back to take maybe 2 steps forward? Has the way in which the last 2 seasons has unfolded maybe opened your eyes to things that needed to improve, or that still need to improve?
Well, they have. If we look at this thing from 30,000 feet, we can see, the clubs that are successful in the divisions that we were in a couple of years ago really need to attract 1,000 fans a game. The division that we were in last year, probably you need to be looking at 600 or 700 fans a game. And we have an old core of about 300 fans that we've sort of inherited. And what Thomas is doing by expanding our junior programs is bringing a large number of kids and their parents into the club. That so that number is probably now close to 1,000 people that are touching the club in some way. And those are the people that we want to bring into the ground. We're making all kinds of attractive offers to get them into the ground. We're doing events in the ground. We had a very successful day out, which we call Avi Fest, a couple of weeks ago, and we were packed out. with people that a lot of whom have maybe were in Horsfall Stadium for the first time. So that's what we've been building what Thomas has been working on over the last 2 or 3 years, is building that base of support. And we are making a lot of progress with that now. I don't know, how many people do you think we had through the gates at Avifest, Thomas?
It was well over 1,200 for
Wow.
sure. And a lot of those people were new people to the club, but also people who had supported our junior program and our academy program. And as a result of our community outreach as well, which has been really important, particularly over the last couple of years, where we've really put a lot of time and effort into that, and it's really grown, and we're starting to see the fruits of that. I mean, there were times towards the end of last season, obviously we were, not doing as well as what we would have liked on the pitch, but performances and the style of play and everything we're starting to see what we want. But we were still attracting over 600, 700 people to the games, and that's as a result of the various different community initiatives that we've been working on.
Has it forced you in any way to just do a complete overhaul in terms of assessment? Looking at every facet of the football club, whether that be operationally, from a wage standpoint, initiatives that you've spoken about there already. Has it forced you to completely look at the whole operation and assess every single department that you can?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every detail is absolutely crucial. We've been going through it with a fine tooth comb, and we've got the benefit really of having the last sort of 3 to 5 years of detailed accounting information, for example, to have a look to see are we getting value for money. And we're looking across the board, and we're constantly doing that daily, reviewing where we're at, the people that we have, is everybody contributing? Because we're going to be setting a mentality that nothing less than first class is good enough at the club, and that's the way it's going to be moving forward.
Another way of looking at it, Jamie, is we had limited amount of budget that we could put into the club over the last couple of years. And the question is, do you just put it all in the first team and hope for the best? What we've done is deliberately allocate money to the building up this support base, getting the juniors going, getting the academy going, because we are long term. That's what we really need. So, and if you're in an airplane and they tell you to put your own oxygen mask on first before you help others, that is basically the situation we're in here. We have to put the oxygen into what is the fundamental base of the club in order to get that to survive, and then we can help the first team. So that's where we've been. And it's the efforts of Thomas and the other professionals that we have. They're all pitching in. They're doing all kinds of jobs around the stadium and helping us save money where we can. But it's great to see. Our head coach was out for the first team, was out coaching the under-13s the other day. That's good to see. The club being able to extend out to these to the youngsters in this way.
I think I'm right in saying that there's been a few movements in terms of the staff in the last few days. Callum Cullen being made redundant from his role as football operations manager. We've also seen, I think I'm right in saying, assistant manager Dean Baker left his role recently as well. Do you envisage any more personnel changes to the staff going into the summer and next season?
No, not really. To be honest, I think we've got really good people at the football club, and the most important thing is we've got people who are all on the same page and all want the same thing. We all want success, and we all want to get promotion next season, and that is our absolute number one fundamental goal. So now's the time to build and get people in the building in terms of players, etc., who have got that mentality, who wants promotion, do everything, go above and beyond to achieve success, and that's what we're looking for moving forward.
It's unfortunate that the level that we're at and the spending that we can do, we can't afford to have all of the positions in the professional positions in the club that we would like. So we've had to make those changes, unfortunately, to make ends meet. It'd be great if we get promoted a couple of divisions in the next few years, and we can afford to have more full-time staff. But unfortunately, those changes had to be made to balance the budget.
And you've both actually part answered what was going to be my next question, and I'll put this your way, Gareth. Is promotion the target for you next season?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. As I mentioned, I think the budget that we're looking at now is higher than it was last year. And we think it's going to be very competitive in this division. It should be, I don't know, maybe Thomas, you could address where we think that budget is in relative to the other teams, without giving too much away, of course.
Yeah, it should be a top four budget. That's our absolute, expectation, minimum expectation. Like I said, nothing less than first class will do, which means top of the tree.
Yeah.
And that's what we're looking for.
Really exciting stuff, it sounds, despite the fact that it's been 2 seasons of disappointment for Bradford Park Avenue. My thanks to the owner of Park Avenue, Gareth Roberts there, and sporting director Thomas McStravick. The best of luck to them, of course, as well in their preparations for the new season, where they'll be playing in the Northern Premier League East for the next campaign, and we'll do our utmost to keep across any updates that come our way from them throughout the summer months and in, of course, to the new season.